Why is this janitor smiling after losing his job? Every Friday, he made the same quiet decision. And one Friday, 20 years later, that decision was the only thing standing between his family and disaster.
The richest janitor.
Every morning, before the city even woke up, one man quietly got ready for work. Not in a suit, not with a briefcase, but with a mop, a bucket, and a quiet routine. Before the first employee arrived, he made sure the building was spotless. And every morning, hundreds of people walked right past him without ever learning his name. But he wasn't there to be noticed. He was there because every single Friday after work, he had a plan. 20 years earlier, when David was 22, he wasn't dreaming about becoming rich. He just wanted a life without constant worry. Every month, the numbers never seemed to work. Rent, food, bills. Somehow, there was never much left. Then one Friday, he looked at the last $100 in his wallet and made a decision that almost nobody around him understood. A coworker noticed him staring. He smiled and asked,
"Planning to spend it?"
David pauses and says,
"No, I'm thinking about investing it."
The man chuckled.
"You're cleaning floors and you want to invest?"
Exactly. That's why I have to do it.
Mike looked at him for a moment, then pushed the $100 back.
"Then promise me one thing. Don't try to escape your job. Build a life where your job becomes a choice."
That sentence stayed with him for the next 20 years. That night, instead of buying something he wanted, he opened his laptop. He didn't know what an ETF was. He didn't know what the stock market was. He only knew he wanted a different future. So he learned one article, one video, one page at a time. He was terrified, not of losing, but of making the wrong decision. It wasn't the biggest investment. It wasn't the smartest. It was simply the first. The next Friday, he did it again and again and again. While everyone searched for shortcuts, David built a habit. Weeks became months, months became years. The seasons changed, his routine never did. His friends spent money to look successful. David spent money to become successful. Every purchase was a conversation between today and tomorrow. Most people always chose today. David kept choosing tomorrow. It didn't happen in 1 month. It didn't happen in 1 year. It happened because he never stopped. People thought nothing had changed. Same job, same uniform, same man. They couldn't see what was quietly growing behind the scenes. Every Friday, another $100, another small decision, another promise to his future self. The account grew so slowly, he almost forgot it was growing at all. 1 week became another, 1 year became another. Life didn't suddenly become easier. There were still bills, still long shifts, still days when he wondered if any of this was actually making a difference. But every Friday, he kept his promise. Every Christmas, people celebrated what they had bought. David celebrated another year. He hadn't given up. The party was over. Everyone went home. So did David. Not with expensive gifts, not with a bonus big enough to change his life, just another honest day's work. His family never cared how expensive Christmas looked. They only cared that Dad made it home. And to David, that was worth more than anything money could buy. Even on Christmas, the habit didn't disappear. Not because he had to, because it had become part of who he was. Life never stood still. His son grew up, his hair slowly turned gray, the notebook filled with promises he had actually kept. David wasn't only building an investment account, he was building memories, because money can grow again. Time cannot. One evening, he looked at the graph and realized it wasn't moving fast enough. He had simply been patient long enough to finally notice. Then, without warning, something changed. The building felt different. Not louder, quieter. The kind of quiet that makes everyone nervous. Nobody knew what the meeting was about, but somehow everyone already knew it wouldn't be good. Sometimes bad news doesn't need an introduction. You can see it before it's spoken. The manager took a deep breath and said,
I'm sorry, but this building will be closing.
One sentence. That was all it took. Years of routine, gone in a moment. The room filled with fear, not because people hated their jobs, because they needed them. Everyone was calculating how many weeks they could survive. 1 month, maybe 2, maybe less, except one man. One of the younger cleaners finally broke the silence and asked,
David, aren't you worried? We just lost our jobs. I don't understand. How are you so calm?
It wasn't the first time someone had asked him that question, but this time the answer meant everything. David smiles and says,
I've been preparing for this day for 20 years.
Ethan looks confused, then quietly asks,
David, how? We just lost everything. You don't even look scared.
David paused to take a slow breath, casting one last glance over the workplace.
I was scared 20 years ago when I realized one paycheck was never enough.
Every decision that looked small was building something no one could see. David adds,
You know, people think wealth happens overnight. It doesn't. It happens. Every Friday, every paycheck, every choice no one applauds.
Ethan stands silently. He looks back. Employees are still carrying boxes. Some are crying, some are making phone calls. For years, everyone worked for the weekend. David worked for the future. He never needed the newest phone, the newest car, or the biggest house because he had already bought something far more valuable: time, choices, peace. Ethan is still standing watching David drive away. 20 years earlier, people thought he was cheapskate, boring, but now they realized he had only been delaying it. Ethan slowly reaches into his pocket, looks at his phone, thinks, then quietly smiles. Maybe today he didn't lose a job. Maybe today he found a new beginning, a new lesson. Success isn't having more than everyone else. It's waking up without fear of tomorrow. David didn't become the richest man in the building. He became the freest. Life didn't suddenly become perfect. There were still bills, unexpected problems, hard days. But fear was no longer living at this table. Sometimes the happiest ending doesn't look like winning the lottery. Sometimes it looks exactly like this: a quiet dinner, the people you love, and a peaceful night waiting for tomorrow. 20 years from now, someone else's Friday will look just like this one did, if they started today. Still do it when you can. Thanks for watching. Your future starts today.